Shalom. Call Halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone to taught me the truth and rule well. Salutation and salutations to the brothers out there that are laboring and pushing this truth in truth and in sincerity and in charity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To you I say Shalom. To the Akim and to the Akwath, of you brothers and sisters, Adawan Ratazah, that is to say, Lord willing, hopefully by the end of this lesson, you be edified. This is your brother Amawan Ayabad from the GMS Miami camp, back again with another lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, to feed the lambs of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, as commanded. And this lesson I'm doing tonight is going to be entitled, Never Trust Thine Enemy. Okay, as the scriptures say, never trust thine enemy. Okay, and what inspired this lesson is the read for the week. Okay, we read in the book of First Maccabees. Okay, specifically chapter 1 through 7, and I just got through reading chapter 1 through 7, which is the read of the week. Okay, and I could not help to but notice how the enemy always speak peaceable words deceitfully. Okay, and yeah, I was inspired to do a quick lesson on it, because certain scriptures come to mind, but I'm reading First Maccabees. All right, yeah, I couldn't help but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, I see that the enemy always speak with sweet words, okay, but wars in his heart. Okay, you're always thinking of a way to overthrow you deceitfully, using deceit. Okay, so I'm gonna start right here in the book of First Maccabees. I'm gonna read this account with Antiochus Epiphanes. Okay, what he did in Jerusalem and to the temple, and then 2 years later he actually came back, and the people, okay, gave him credence, man. Like they believe the foolishness what he was talking. He sent a tax collector, okay, and they gave him credence, man, and to their own hurt, to their own hurt, man. You see why? Because they trust the enemy. Well, let's read some of this real quick, and we're gonna get some precepts. This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 20. It says, after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. Right? So he came up with this great multitude, it says, and he entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof. Right? Taking away the stuff that doesn't belong to him. It says, and the table of the showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and of the veil and the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. Okay, it says this man is ruining the temple, man. It says he took also the silver and gold and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found, none which was his, man. And them stuff wasn't his own to take, right? But if you lose a battle, they obviously the victor is going to take the spoils, right? So that's what he did in Jerusalem. It says, and when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre. Right? You know what is a massacre, right? I'm going to tell you what that is. And spoken very proudly. Therefore there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were, right? It says, so that the princess and the elders mourned, the virgins and the young men were made feeble, and the beauty of woman was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. It says, the land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. You see? Now you reading this, okay, you hearing all of this stuff what Antiochus did, right? To our people. You would believe that they'd never trust this man after doing something like that, right? So listen to this verse, the 29th verse. It says, and after 2 years fully expired. So this is just 2 years after he did all of this. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came into Jerusalem with a great multitude. So 2 years later, they came back, right? And it says, verse 30, these disappoint, verse 30 and 31. I'm going to read down some more. It says, and spake peaceable words unto them. So this is only 2 years after they spoiled Jerusalem, man. All right? It says, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. So they spake peaceable words unto them, man. All right? They spoke peaceable words unto them. It says, but all was deceit. It says, for when they had given him credence, let's look up this word real quick. Let's look up this word credence real quick. Okay? Let's go into this word credence real quick. This is the online etymology. It says credence. It says belief, trust in facts. You see that? So what he said, Antiochus sent his chief tax collector of tribute. Okay? It says, and he speak peaceable words. And they give credence to them, man. It says credence, belief, trust. Okay? It says to believe. You see? Believe, trust. So 2 years later, after this man spoiled the people, man, and made a great massacre, right? They still trusted the enemy, man. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 30 says, and spake peaceable words unto them. And remember, this is only 2 years after. Let me read up one verse again. It says, verse 29, and after 2 years fully expired, the king sent. Remember all of this what we just read, what they did, okay? You see? It says, and after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. You see, this is why you're supposed to trust the enemy. It says, for when they had given him credence, meaning they believed the foolishness they was talking, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel. Remember, that's what they did 2 years prior. You see? It says, and when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. You see? It says, but the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. Then they built the city of David with a great and strong wall with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. Okay? And it says, and they that put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. Okay? This is what they did to the land during that time, man. Okay? I'm going to read verse 35. It says, they stored also with armor and victuals, and when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, so they became a sore snare. They became a sore snare, okay, unto our people, man. You see? So that's a reason to never trust the enemy, man. Okay? From there we're going to go to First Maccabees, the 7th chapter. We was reading out of the first chapter just now. So we're going to get First Maccabees, the 7th chapter. We're going to jump in here. This is the account of one of the Maccabees. Judas Maccabees. Okay, he was the he was left in charge. He stood up in his father's stead as his father Matthias after his father died. Okay, Judas Maccabees was in charge. Okay, along with his other brothers, but he was the leader at the time. This is First Maccabees chapter 7. I start at verse. So you had a wicked Israelite that was trying to be high priest, and he was feeding information about our people to one of the kings, to one of the heathen kings. Okay, he was trying to give him ways to come up against the Maccabean brothers. Okay, because there was anybody who was wicked in the nation of Israel, okay, at the time of the Maccabeans brothers, man, they was rooting them out. And this guy, his name is Alcimus. Okay. Let me read this verse 9. It says, and he sent with that wicked Alcimus, whom he made high priest, and commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel. So this guy here, it says, so they departed and came with a great power into the land of Judea, where they sent messengers to Judas Maccabean, and his brother with peaceable words deceitfully. You see? Okay? It says, but they gave no heed to their words, for they saw that they were come with a great power. So at the end of the day, the Maccabeans, they had the spirit on them, man. They foresee that, okay, even though they came with peaceable words, that their words were in deceit, man, and they perceived that. You see? But I'm going to jump down to this account. I'm going to go straight to the point. Jump down to verse. So you had even the wicked of our people feeding the heathens information. Just like today you got coons. You got coons of our people and sambos. Okay, to this very day, man. Sellouts. Okay. Verse 26. It says, then the king sent Nicanor. So this king whom Alcimer, which was an Israelite, Alcimer, he was feeding the king information. The king sent this guy, Nicanor. Says this. Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel, with commandment to destroy the people. So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force, and sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words. You see, there you go. Friendly words, peaceable words, but it's all in deceit. That's why you ain't supposed to never trust the enemy, man. You see? So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force, and sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words, saying, let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with few men, that I might see you in peace. He came therefore to Judas, and they saluted one another peaceably. Howbeit, the enemies were prepared to take away Judas by violence. You see, they had a plan. Okay? It says, which thing after it was known to Judas, to wit that he came unto him with deceit, he was sore afraid of him, and would see his face no more. Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, so Judas discovered him, right? Judas peeped the game, man. Okay? It says, Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Judas beside Kafir Salama, where there were slain of Nicanor's side about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of David. So at the end of the day, in this particular account right here, Judas, okay, the Maccabees, they was able to slew 5,000 of Nicanor's men. But the point is that he came with deceit. He came with speaking friendly words, right? It says he came right with friendly words, all in deceit, man. You see? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. The scriptures say, 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Okay, where it says lest Satan should get an advantage lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, man. Remember, Satan means adversary, man. The adversary. Okay? You ain't supposed to never trust your adversary, man. You ain't supposed to never trust your enemy, man. Scriptures tell you that. Okay? So let's get we're gonna go from there to the book of Psalms. Okay? We're gonna go to the book of Psalms. We're gonna get Psalms the 55 chapter, right? Psalms 55, verse 20. It says, he had put forward his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant, right? Think about what happened to the natives, man, to the tribe of the northern kingdom, okay? Issachar, Reuben, okay, Gad, all right? There was they came to the land, okay, where no man dwelt before, man. Tells you that in second Ezra, the 13th chapter, beginning at verse 40, going down, all right? They came into another land. Our people were here before anybody. Okay? As a matter of fact, Solomon had a navy of ships, okay, that used to come back and forth to Ophir, man. You see? So, these people, okay, who are the northern kingdom, the tribes, all right, our brothers, all right, they're the indigenous of the land, man. Okay, and what happened? Okay, how when Christopher Columbus, them when they came, okay, how did they get the land? Okay, I believe it's somewhere in his memoirs that he didn't put down his sword for not even an hour, something like that. And all the treaties where they have broken, okay, it says he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. All those treaties they broke. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, right? But war was in his heart. You see? His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You see? So at the end of the day, the scriptures tell you to never trust thine enemy, man. Okay, so definitely we're going to end with that. Okay, let's go back to the Apocrypha. We're going to get Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter. All right? This is Ecclesiasticus, 12th chapter, beginning at Salakia. Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter, beginning at the 10th verse. It says, never trust thine enemy. Okay, going back to the title of the lesson. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be able, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast, right? Nobody ain't gonna pity you because you're supposed to know better, man. You see? You're supposed to know better. Alright? Than to trust your enemy. Verse 14 it says, so one that goeth to a sinner, and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, you see, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Okay? If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. See, that's what the enemy does. He seek to undermine you. He says he will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance, man. So you gotta be careful out here, man. Okay? The scriptures tell you to never trust thine enemy, and you have to give you gotta give credence to the scriptures, man. Okay? That's what you give credence to, not